Assalamu alaikum. In today's lesson, we're going to study correlative conjunctions. They are pairs of words which can be used to create compound sentences. So correlative conjunctions are pairs of words that correlate two equally important clauses, as I said before. The most famous pairs of correlative conjunctions are both and, either or, neither nor, not only, but also, and finally, whether or. Let's take some examples to understand how to use them. Both and. I know both where you went and what you did. It's easy to understand this. Either or. We use these two words when we have two options, two choices to choose from. We can either sit at home to play chess or go to the club nearby. The two choices are sit at home or go to the club. So we use either or. Neither nor. We use this pair when we're trying to join negative items or options. Neither my brother nor my sister likes indoor games. It means my brother doesn't like indoor games. Also, my sister doesn't like indoor games. So we say neither my brother nor my sister. Pay attention to the fact that the verb usually takes the form of the subject, which is closer to it. So here we have a singular subject, which means that the verb is going to be singular and we're going to add s. On the other hand, if you have a plural subject, then the verb is going to take the plural form. Like this example, neither my brother nor my sisters like indoor games. So we don't add s because the subject is plural in this situation. Let's continue practicing. Not only, but also. Now, this one is a little bit tricky because you can write the sentence in many different ways. Let's look at the first example. He's not only an excellent student, but also an outstanding athlete. So this means that he is an excellent student. And in addition to this, he's an outstanding athlete. Okay. Pay attention to the fact that here we don't have a complete clause. We don't have a subject and a verb. So we don't use a comma before but. We may have a complete clause. It goes like this. He's not only an excellent student. It's the same like the first part, but we can say, but he's also an outstanding athlete. We added a subject in the situation and we have a verb. So that's a complete clause. Because we have a complete clause, we should use a comma in the situation. You may also decide to start the sentence with not only. If you do that, you're going to have to make inversion. And inversion means that you got to use the question form. So you say, not only is he an excellent student, is he? That's like a question. But he's also an outstanding athlete. Let's continue practicing. Let's take more examples related to not only, but also. Here is another one. He not only called the police department, but also called the fire department. Again, we don't have a comma here because this is not a complete clause. There is a verb, but there's no subject after but. You may choose to have a subject. You may choose to have a complete clause. He not only called the police department, but he also called the fire department. So he called. It's a complete clause, and this means that we have to use a comma here. And again, you may choose to start the sentence with not only. So you could say, not only did he call the police department, you're going to use the question form. Did he call? In this situation, we're making the question form by using verb to do because we have a verb in the past. But he also called the fire department. Let's take one more example related to not only, but also. The government should not only impose higher taxes on junk food, but also should conduct awareness campaigns about its dangers. Okay. Again, this is not a complete clause. There's no subject. We could make it a complete clause. We could say the government should not only impose higher taxes on junk food, but it should also conduct awareness campaigns about its dangers. Subject and a verb. We could also start with not only, and again, if you do that, you have to use the question form. It's called inversion. Not only should the government impose higher taxes on junk food, but it should also conduct awareness campaigns about its dangers. Whether or. He hasn't yet decided about whether he should continue his studies or apply for a job. You may start the sentence with whether or. Whether foreign languages should be taught in elementary stage or in high school has always been a matter of debate between experts. Please pay attention to this grammatical structure. I find it very useful, particularly in task 2. You may start your introduction with it. If you're asked to write a discussion essay, usually they give you two opinions. They say some people think X, other people think Y, and you're supposed to paraphrase this. So you may start like that. You may say whether X and then Y has always been a matter of debate between experts. Write down this grammatical structure and try to use it in task 2. Now, correlative conjunctions can either create simple or compound sentences. Look at this example. Both Ahmed and Mustafa came to work yesterday. This is a simple sentence. You have a compound subject. We talked about this before. And we have a verb, but it's a simple sentence. Neither Ahmed nor Mustafa came to work yesterday. Simple sentence. But this one is compound. The government should both eliminate illiteracy, that's an independent clause, and should eradicate poverty. That's another independent clause, so it's a compound sentence. Not only should the government eliminate illiteracy, but it should also eradicate poverty. It's a compound sentence. Let's take some exercises to apply the skills that we've learned in today's lesson. Okay. All you have to do is to choose the correct word from the 4 choices that we have here. I'll give you some time to look at the sentences and choose the correct words. Okay. If you need more time, you can pause, but I'm gonna go ahead and answer the questions for you. She's neither polite. Okay, if you have neither, then you have to use nor. Neither nor. This one is easy. So this is the correct answer right here. Have you made a decision about to go to the movies? So we have a choice here. So it's gonna be about whether to go to the movies. This is the right answer. About whether to go to the movies or not. I love the salad. It's delicious and healthy. So I love it. So, and the 2 choices are true. So we're gonna say it's both delicious and healthy. Let's continue practicing. Again, you have 3 sentences. You need to look at them and choose the correct correlative conjunctions. Just fix this very quickly. Okay, now I'm going to answer the questions for you, and if you need more time, you can pause. I'm really happy. The test was very short, quite easy. So it seems that the 2 choices were correct. So we have to say both very short and quite easy. So I'm going to choose this answer right here. Oops. Okay. Joe and his sisters could understand what their parents were saying when they spoke French. It seems that Joe and his sisters couldn't understand their parents when they spoke French. So we should say neither nor. Neither Joe nor his sisters could understand what their parents were saying when they spoke French. Okay, number 6. I plan to take my vacation in June, July. I have 2 choices here. So I can say I plan to take my vacation either in June or in July. Okay. We have 2 more sentences. Take some time, look at them, and make the right choice. Okay. I'm feeling happy sad, I try to keep a positive attitude. So whether I'm feeling happy, in the two conditions, whether I'm feeling happy or sad, I try to maintain a positive attitude. Okay, for me, French, easy, difficult, it's average. It's not easy, it's not difficult. So how do you say it? It's neither easy nor difficult, it's average. Let's continue practicing. We have some sentences here. What you need to do is to rewrite these sentences using not only, but also. You're going to have to grab a pen and a piece of paper and actually start writing to apply this rule. Give you some time to do that. Okay, now it's time for me to show you the answers, and you may pause, of course. I'm sure you need more time. You may pause in order to be able to rewrite the sentences and take all of your time. Let's look at the answers. There are problems with the children, there are problems with the parents. So we can say not only are there problems with the children, but there are also problems with their parents. I put also between parentheses because it's optional, we can just remove it. And remember that if you start the sentence with not only, you have to use inversion. Okay, here's one more example. He can make people laugh, he can make people cry. He can not only make people laugh, but he can also make them cry. I replaced the word people with the word them in order to avoid unnecessary repetition. Number 3, she writes plays for television, she acts in movies. Of course, you can rewrite it in 2 ways or even many ways. You can say she not only writes plays for television, but she also acts in movies. Or you could start the sentence with not only. So you can say not only does she write plays for television, we have to use inversion, remember this, but she also acts in movies. Number 4, I sent him many letters, I also tried to telephone him. So I can say I not only sent him many letters, but I also tried to telephone him. Or I could start with not only. So I can say not only did I send him many letters, but I also tried to telephone him. I hope today's lesson was useful, and I'm going to see you in the next lesson, inshallah. Have a nice time.